This morning in today's classroom, the homework dilemma. As parents, you want your kids to enjoy learning and to do well in school. But what happens when homework starts taking over your family life? Here's one family's story.
My name is Aurora DeMarco. I have two daughters. My oldest is Angelica, she's 16, and my youngest is Ani, and she is 6.5. When Ani comes home and we begin doing homework together, it's usually met with some resistance. Do you want to get your homework out of the way, or do you want to do something?
I want to read with Daddy.
It's a lot of stalling.
No, not right now, because I want to draw.
What should take 10 minutes can oftentimes take an hour or more. There's no way a child can do the homework on their own.
Very good.
Away.
Very good.
You have to sit down with your child and get them to do it. I think what that creates is very dependent learners. Homework should be fun. It should be reasonable in quantity. It shouldn't take all night long. You get distracted, it takes a long time. It shouldn't demand a parent to do skills and drills with the child. You got a little lost there, right? It should be something that gives the child a sense of their own accomplishment. It's very intimidating to ask for help from your children's teachers. You don't want to come across as a slacker mom. You don't want your children to come across as not hardworking.
Not that.
But it is important for teachers to hear what their homework policy is doing at home. My main complaint about homework is that it doesn't engage children in a meaningful way. It takes away from family time, sitting down for dinner. There's something about that time at the table where you're really getting in your child's world and they're getting into yours.
Look at this color.
The new school year's edition of Parenting Magazine takes a closer look at the homework debate. Susan Cain is the editor-in-chief of Parenting, and Nancy Kalish wrote the article as well as the book, The Case Against Homework. Good morning. Nice to have you both here.
Hi.
Something a lot of parents certainly are dealing with.
Absolutely.
Susan, as a parent yourself and as the editor-in-chief of Parenting Magazine, you hear a lot about parents complaining that their kids are just overloaded.
This is the first story that I wanted to do for our School Year's magazine because of my own experience of my son being so stressed out by hours of homework, just as an 8-year-old, that our family life was just ruined. It was in shreds. And finally, I, with another mom, went to the teacher, and we were able to turn the situation around so quickly. Now, I hear about it from moms across the country. You know, 4 hours of homework for second and third graders. It's too much, and I wanted to do something about it. But we also hear that people are fighting back, and there is a less homework revolution going on around the country.
All right, we're going to get some pointers, too, coming up in a little bit for parents on how to tackle the issue. But, Nancy, you've done a lot of writing on the topic, and what is the intended purpose of homework? Remind us what the idea behind homework really is.
Well, in moderate quantities, it's supposed to reinforce study skills, build good study habits at home, reinforce what kids are learning in school, and of course make a kid feel like a really accomplished student, like he really likes school.
Then that's the ideal situation, but you've looked at the research, and what does the research show you about the quantity of homework that kids are getting and whether or not there really is that reinforcing going on in the, from the classroom
it's
to at
interesting.
home?
It's gone so out of balance that all of those purposes no longer exist, and it backfires. I was very pro-homework until my own kids started coming home with 4 hours a night, and I looked into the research, and I was floored to see that it doesn't back it up in huge quantities. A 2006 review by Duke University of 180 studies found that there is almost no correlation, no connection at all between homework and any kind of long-term achievement in elementary school, only a very small one in middle school, and even in high school the benefits really max out and start to diminish after a total of 2 hours a night.
And that whole thing of preparing them for high school or college then, I mean, that's really not so much the case then. In fact, is there more of a backlash when kids are just overloaded at a young age with so much work?
They start to hate school. You know, that's what I'm sure your daughter was saying, and my son was saying it every single day. I hate school, I hate school,
and
I
then
hate school.
rather than being prepared, they're burned out by the time they reach high school. I mean, they are tired. They don't want to do any more, and they certainly don't want to do any more in college.
All right, well, let's talk about the appropriate quantity and quality. Are there any guidelines, Susan, for the quantity of homework?
Both the National Education Association and the National PTA say 10 minutes per grade per night. So that's first grader would get 10 minutes, a second grader would get 20 minutes, and so on. You know, that's not a lot of
2 hours
homework.
by the time they're in high school.
Yes, but sometimes, yes, exactly. In 12th grade, that's 2 hours. That should be the maximum.
Right.
But that's, as Nancy says, that's gotten way out of balance.
Yeah, and you end up seeing kids sometimes with a lot of the issues with, you know, carrying these big backpacks too with all that homework, and then they're just slumped over and bad posture.
That's the
and
least of it. They're
right.
getting sleep problems, they're getting stomach aches, they're getting fear of school, they're developing tics. I mean, there's some really bad problems.
All right, what about quality, Nancy? Because I know a lot of parents who have sat at the table and they've struggled with some of the assignments, whether it's, you know, writing the book report for their kid.
Right.
Oh, it's a bad idea.
Well, it's always the parents who end up completing most of the assignment as is. So what are some good, I mean, examples of what homework should be like, ideal situations?
Well, really, the number one educational activity, experts agree, hands down, is reading. So as much reading as possible, and then the kind of open-ended questions that make even a first grader think about what they've read. The bad kinds of homework are huge, long math sheets, which are just kind of drill and kill, and actually take away from time that could be spent reading and for pleasure, which kids don't have a lot of time to do today.
All right, and you both have some tips on how to stand up to the homework test and ways to get less homework. Important to remind the teachers are not the bad guys here.
No.
You know, they're certainly the ones who just are doing and just trying to get your kids to learn.
Well, astonishingly, in the master's education that teachers get, there's no course, there's not even a one-day seminar on homework. So they're winging it.
So they're winging it. They're going with whatever the criteria is for testing, perhaps, in their region. So
That's
a lot of pressure
on them.
with No Child Left Behind to make sure that they're scoring well, the kids are scoring well.
Right.
So what are some things that parents can do? Is it first you say, Nancy, to have a non-confrontational approach?
Oh, that's key. As Susan just said, the teachers are under a lot of pressure, and they're often grappling with not enough training. So you really need to remember that your teacher went into teaching because she loves kids, she wants to help them learn.
Passionate.
She's passionate. If you go in, often the teacher is not even aware of the havoc that homework is creating at home or how long it's taking. So if you go in and you say, your homework is killing my child, it's just going to put her on the defensive. Instead, you might say, you know, Katie is so overwhelmed with homework that she's starting to hate school. What can we do about it?
So you both say, begin with a note to the teacher, then set up a parent-teacher meeting, encourage other parents to speak up, and work toward a homework policy. So really, maybe in going in numbers, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Encouraging
Getting
other parents to get
together.
involved.
Exactly, going before the school board. You know, there are so many venues that are open to moms where they
Important
can go
to start
and
the
speak.
discussion, though.
Exactly, and you can even just jot a note on the homework. You know, Johnny did his best here, but you know, this was a little too much for him.
All right. Well, Susan Cain and Nancy Kalish, thank you both. Hopefully, it'll get the discussion going for a lot of parents.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Talking